The default settings in League of Legends are not the best. These are the settings you should consider changing to give you an advantage in-game. Firstly, and one of the main ones, is how you cast your abilities, as having your abilities set to normal cast will significantly slow down using them. Instead, you want to use quick cast, which will make the ability go off when the button is pressed. Also, you will want to have quick cast with indicator bound to something. What this does is show you the tooltip for the ability when holding it down to allow more accurate placement. This can be incredibly helpful with abilities like Vigar Cage to allow you to perfectly trap an opponent. Also, here you do have the option to replace quick cast for quick cast with indicators. What this does is you can still use your abilities by tapping them as if they were quick cast, but if you hold down the button, it will show you the tooltip, and releasing the key will use the ability. These will take a little bit of time to get used to, but it's well worth the time investment. Next, let's talk about self-casting. You're able to set up keybinds for casting abilities on yourself. For example, I play Morgana a lot, so I've got my black shield casting on myself as C. Especially if you play champions with targeted shields or abilities, this setting can give you a real edge in combat, not needing to drag the mouse back over yourself to cast the ability. Next, we have attack moving. Using these commands, it allows you to kite and orb walk much easier, and is an essential mechanic on most ranged champions. I have this set to my A key, however, as your left click in the game doesn't actually do anything, they have put a setting in where you can bind your attack move to your left click, which is incredibly helpful. An important one is your attack champions only, which you will need to bind. This allows you to only be able to right click on champions, which is useful when fighting in minions or if they're behind a tower or baron. This will make the inside of your cursor red to show it's on, and with this setting you can change it to toggle on and off so you don't actually have to hold it down. This one is definitely worth taking the time to learn, as you will never accidentally attack a minion or tower again. One of the most important options is how you center your camera. By default, this is space, which is brilliant for how often you will be using this. By pressing space, you will quickly be able to snap the camera onto yourself, and you can keep it locked on yourself by holding down space. For a lot of us, this will already be second nature. Some players do play with a locked camera, however, there's a reason no pro players use this, and that's simply because it's worse. You're filling up your screen with useless information and limiting your field of vision. Play unlocked camera, get used to tapping and holding down spacebar to reset your camera, it's well worth the time investment. Going to the communication tab, you want to bind the area is warded ping to something. I think this is a brilliant ping and very helpful. Next, with your interface, I would advise to have the combat text of experience on, as this can help you knowing if you're within experience range or not. A setting many new players have on is auto attack, where the game will make you automatically attack something in range. You want this turned off. Constantly attacking is a very quick way to mess up your wave control, and can even mess up effects like sleep, making your team angry with you. There is an upside where it's easier to weave attacks in between abilities. However, with some practice, this will already be second nature, and it will make you the better player for it. Next, we have HUD Scale. I have this turned down to 35, and I have no problems taking in all the information, and it allows me to see more of the screen. With your abilities, you definitely want to show their cost and cooldowns. You will want to know when you have your abilities and how much they'll cost you. In interface, you also have your chat setting, where you can have all chat and allied chat on or off. Allied chat can be pretty toxic, however all chat tends to be pretty chill, which is why a lot of pro players actually play with allied chat off, but this is just your preference.